I had known for months. The late-night texts, the hushed phone calls, the sudden change in his cologne, and the way he'd disappear for hours with flimsy excuses. It was all too obvious. At first, I told myself it was just work stress, that I was overthinking. But deep down, I knew. My husband, David, was having an affair. The confirmation came when I finally looked through his phone one night while he was in the shower. Her name was Lisa. Young, confident, and arrogant enough to believe she could take what was mine without consequence. I sat there, scrolling through their messages, reading every "I miss you" and "can't wait to see you." The worst part was how happy he sounded. The playfulness in his words, the way he told her things he hadn't told me in years. I felt sick. I didn't confront him, not yet. There was no need for yelling, no dramatic accusations. Screaming wouldn't fix anything. Instead, I planned. If he wanted to betray me, if she thought she had won, I would make sure they both knew exactly who they were dealing with. One morning, over breakfast, I set my plan in motion. "Lisa's coming over for dinner tonight," I said casually, stirring my coffee. David froze mid-bite, his fork hovering in the air. "What?" "I invited Lisa. I thought it would be nice to meet her." His throat bobbed as he swallowed. His eyes darted to mine, searching for anger, but I kept my expression calm. Why would you do that?" he asked carefully. I shrugged, taking a slow sip of my coffee. "Well, you spend so much time with her. It only seems fair that I get to know the woman who's been keeping you company." He opened his mouth, then closed it again. There was no argument he could make, no denial that would sound believable. He just nodded stiffly and muttered, "All right." That evening, I made sure everything was perfect. The table was set with my best china, candles flickered softly, and a bottle of expensive wine rested in the center. Every detail was flawless, just like I wanted it to be. I made David's favorite meal, the one I used to cook when we were still happy, before he decided I wasn't enough. Lisa arrived right on time. She was dressed up, her makeup carefully applied, her confidence faltering only slightly when she saw me standing in the doorway. I smiled warmly and stepped aside to let her in. "I have to admit, I wasn't expecting this," she said, her voice laced with nervous laughter. "Oh, I believe in facing things head-on," I replied, leading her to the dining table. David was already seated, stiff and uncomfortable. He barely met my eyes as I poured Lisa a glass of wine, my hands steady, my heartbeat calm. She looked between us, her smile uncertain. Dinner began with polite conversation. Lisa talked about her job, her love for traveling, how she and David met at a work event. She didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. David, on the other hand, barely touched his food. He was waiting for me to explode, to lash out, to break. But I wouldn't. Not yet. As I refilled Lisa's glass, I tilted my head slightly, watching her. "You know, Lisa, I have to thank you." She blinked in confusion. "For what?" "For showing me who my husband really is." The room went silent. David set his fork down slowly. Lisa shifted in her seat, suddenly uneasy. I leaned back, a small smile on my lips. For months, I ignored the signs. I made excuses for him, but thanks to you, I finally see the truth. And I've taken steps to fix it. David's eyes snapped to mine. "What does that mean?" I sighed, as if it were all so exhausting. "It means the divorce papers are ready. It means this house is in my name now. And it means, David, that your bags are packed and waiting by the door." His face drained of color. Lisa's lips parted, but no words came out. "I hope you two are very happy together," I continued smoothly. "Though, Lisa, you should know, if he could cheat on me, he'll cheat on you too." Silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. Then, I picked up my wine glass, stood up, and walked away, leaving them alone with the mess they had created. It was the perfect revenge,